Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Qmenera, an Experience Points podcast. We're an all-queer cast Numenera podcast. I'm Kenny, the cast member who plays the lovable and simple lad Hillian. If you love our show, we hope you'll rate us and review us on iTunes or wherever you consume your podcasts. Every review makes Kelric, the GM and producer's eyes, sparkle, and helps new listeners to find us. We don't pay to advertise any of the podcasts on the Experience Points network, so we hope you'll recommend us to your friends and just about anyone. Did you know that we had a Patreon? We are grateful to everyone who's already become a patron. You keep our mics on and our dice rolling. We've got some great rewards, so check them out at patreon.com/experiencepoints.
Be gay. Roll dice.
An LGBTQIA actual play podcast network.
And welcome. This is Qmenera, our all-queer cast Numenera game. I'm Kelric. I am the narrator, and today I am here with my beautiful cast. My pronouns are he, him, and why don't we just start with our normal order. So, Aaron.
Hi, my name is Aaron. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Railu, a graceful glaive who speaks with a silver tongue, and they also use they, them pronouns.
What's up, y'all? I'm Kate. I use she, hers pronouns, and I'll be playing Charlie, who's a strong-willed nana who talks to machines, and her pronouns are also she, hers.
Hello, my name is Kenny. My pronouns are he, they. I play Hillian Jossa, an earnest Jack who howls at the moon, and their pronouns are he, his.
Okay. So, as a reminder, I'm showing you a map of the Badenu Forest so you can, see where you're going, where you're coming from, and how far that is. And you can go from there. Kenny, you were going to do the recap?
Was I, though?
You totally
okay.
were.
Sure. We're going off on our own path to Jerisi. Charlie's been on this road before and attempts to be contemplative. Railu processes through conversation, peppering Charlie with questions in order to quiet their mind and find out who Tiuna would have trusted. We stop for lunch next to a water source, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go foraging, and I chase Jacques into the woods nearby, looking for mushrooms. Shirog emerged from the underbrush to attack the party. And Railu attempts to communicate with them, but they don't communicate back. We attack the Shirog and successfully defend ourselves. But Railu's weapons are now coated in the scent of dead Shirog, described as moldy cinnamon. The party we decide to drag the corpses along with us, partially to feed me later, I guess.
Okay.
This is what happens when I read directly from my notes.
Yeah. Cool. So, yes, that's exactly what happened. You all left Ephraimon at long last, I suppose, is how you all look at it. I don't know. And you started following the road up to Jerisi. You managed to make it to a fairly nice, I wouldn't call it bucolic or anything, but fairly nice camping spot. There was a firing, and there was a tower that you had discussed whether Howlian or the two of you should be in it, and I think you had decided that Howlian would sleep up there with the two dead bodies. Was that right?
Is that what we decided?
I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what was, and you two.
I think Hillian is asleep by the fire, and we were going to take turns up in the tower on watch, so that way we had a better view of the lay of the land.
Yeah. And I think Railu would have taken the Anine off in a distance because I don't want our Anine to die. And then placed one of the bodies near, close enough to where, we would know where they are and tethered them, but, and then put one of the bodies, nearish to Hillian, off to the side a little bit of the Chirog.
Okay. So, with that said, how far away are you putting the Anine? Are you going to be near enough that you can get to them if you need to, or what's the plan there?
I feel like we probably have them. Let me look at this map real quick before I just say shit. I feel like if Hillian's near that big old fire pit, we probably have them back and to the left, like just beyond that tree line behind the tower. So that way Hillian would have to like pass through us.
Okay, so why don't you just place yourselves on the map so I can see where you were starting out, just for me, s'il vous plaît.
Is there a dead body pin somewhere?
Do we have a random body?
It's almost like Howlian's coming out tonight, y'all.
Oh no. Which I don't know that Charlie really knows that it happens multiple nights in a row. So this is gonna be a good time.
Didn't Railu tell you that like we're expecting Howlian tonight? Last
I
episode?
don't remember.
Well, I feel like Railu would tell you, like,
Okay.
yes, he transforms. Because you would be like, why are we carrying a dead body? Like, you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did talk about that because I lied then and said that we would probably be able to sell it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so the camp is all set up. You all have been here long enough to do your recovery rolls, so you should be completely filled up on your things. And you all have set everything up. Are you doing any exploring up in this thing? Are you just setting up your bedrolls in this tower? What are you doing with this tower thing? What's going on with that? Because I see that Charlie is on the ground, but Railu was up there.
I figured we were taking probably turns of being on watch so that we were not both awake the whole night.
Okay.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be. Yes, but you shouldn't be sleeping next to Hillian when he transforms.
Oh, okay, good call. Yeah, so I guess Charlie probably is up there too.
And we're just taking shifts, so basically
Yeah.
every 4 hours, maybe. I don't know how that would work, but 2 people.
How
But
do you explain to Hillian they're not allowed to come up with you?
we do it after he goes to sleep.
So, all right. How is Hillian doing? I mean, it's day 2, and you've had an afternoon of it, and now you are all. Everyone else is, kind of getting camp ready. What is Hillian doing?
So I think that the last transformation was very well. I mean, every transformation is traumatic for Hillian, but I think that Hillian has sort of an awareness that this is happening now, or that something is off with their routine and what happened with Nils and everything. So I think he is. He was silent, moody boy before, but now he's very silent and very contemplative. And with the hunger pains, I think he's like trying to fight through them and trying to ignore them more than trying to give in to them.
Okay. What would they be physically doing? Like, are they pacing around? Or are they just going to try and roll over and go to sleep to forget it? Or what are they doing?
He is going to be busying himself around the camp, so trying to make himself helpful, tending the fire. Like, if Railu gave, like, what tasks would Railu give Hillian?
Well, Railu's probably cooking food as best as they know how. So they would probably, I mean, before we set up how we did on the map, I figured like Tiuna and Railu's thing was like, we set up the tent like normal, like we set up everything like it's normal. And then Hillian goes to sleep and we tear it all down and do what we're going to do. So I would probably be like, oh, yes, Hillian, would you mind unpacking the rations? And then, oh wait, that's dangerous for Hillian.
Like as you like kind of like go through these mental tasks and start trying to assign them, and you are like actually cooking food, like Hillian kind of grabs his stomach and goes, I'm gonna get some kindling. I promise I'll be close. I won't go into the woods. I'll be close, but I'm gonna get some kindling.
How close to nighttime is it?
Yeah, you've been traveling quite a bit. That battle took you a little while, and carrying the bodies while the Anine are strong, it slowed you down a bit. So I would say after all of this prep stuff, you're probably looking at, early evening heading into dusk. So
Charlie, can you come finish this up?
Oh, yeah. And Charlie will go over and help out.
Hillian, do you want some company?
No, I'm okay. I appreciate it.
All right, and Riley will go back to doing something like unpacking a camp thing. I don't camp, or like setting up their tent or whatever. I don't camp. Listen, I'm a city person through and through.
Aaron's like, I'm gonna hoist the mainsail.
Yeah, right. Don't trash my Sea of Thieves game, all right? So yeah, I would go back to like, I don't know, setting up my tent or whatever, and but I would wait for Hillian to be like a distance away, and then like if he breaks through the tree line, kind of start to follow in that direction. Like leaving a respectable distance in case Hillian's going to use the bathroom, but like making sure that Hillian doesn't get lost.
That seems quite reasonable because you no longer have an unbreakable scarf.
Yeah.
So Hillian's gonna be in the clearing, like so to the like northeast of the tower of the thing, picking up twigs and brush and things to kindle fire in that area, and anything that looks like it could be food, Hillian kind of either stamps on or like throws into the brush or feeds to Jacques.
Okay. And I want to remind you in the map that I've made that the dark area where all the trees are is land, but this lighter area is water. So on the northeast and southwestern sides of the camp, you are surrounded by water. So there's only an access from the northwest, which brings them brings whatever Hillian is doing to the tower, and from the southeast, which is across the road. So if you're from the tower, you'd be able to see anything coming. So this is a pretty secure spot you're in. You can really tell that whoever decided to build this here planned this out really decently for being in the Baladeno Forest. It's actually a fairly secure location because it's only two main points of entry that you have to worry about unless there are water creatures you're thinking might be coming to visit.
Calric, is that foreshadowing?
What? I'm just asking questions, pointing things out, giving y'all some info.
Hey, somebody's throwing the shit.
That's right. So, all right. So you're in there, walking around trying to find twigs and stuff. Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you just too distracted by food? What are you doing here?
I think Hillian's distracted by food and sheer willpower.
If you could roll a speed roll for stealth. Just because maybe
okay.
they aren't being.
I'm not going to expend any effort because
that's kind of what I'm saying.
not trying. There we go.
Oh,
That
Doesn't even pass a TD 0.
I was really hoping to be a 1, but that's okay.
Calric just fishes for the ones. Does anyone else notice that?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you want to roll for that? What am I rolling for?
Walking.
A 1?
Trivial?
You're rolling for a 1.
Would I just be able to do this?
You can always make that argument.
Lift that spoon.
All right. Well, I wasn't planning on this happening quite so soon, but that's totally cool. It's going to be, I would like for Hillian to roll an int check for a perception.
Okay. Again, I'm not going to do this with any effort because he's distracted.
Oh!
He doesn't need to. That's a nat 20.
Awesome. Well, that gives you the opportunity to see the Juraskar coming.
Oh.
What?
So, if you all would be so kind as to roll initiative, that would be great.
What
Are you
range-
kidding? Initiative?
Oh, it's a Juraskar. What do you think's gonna happen?
at what
I think
range-
I'm gonna. Oh, I can't run away from it either.
No. Oh, well, you can run. Feel free to run. Would anyone like to describe a Juraskar for us?
For those of you listening, welcome to our final episode of Qmenera.
Ulrich has decided that he's tired running the show. Can you apply effort to
Oh, there's
that-
initiative.
initiative?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say no. All right. So what are our rules here?
Juraskar.
We've got. Oh dear.
Can I use my major effect to be able to react immediately?
I am going to definitely give you that. I think just as part of a natural 20, you get to react. You see a Juraskar coming. And does anyone want to describe what a Juraskar looks like? If you have any questions, there's a picture of one right over my shoulder.
It's basically a giant T-Rexy looking lizardy huge thing.
That will kill us all.
Yes.
Okay. So, as Hillian is traipsing through this forest, stomping on anything that might be food, basically just really struggling because they're so distracted by the hunger that they're feeling. They're snapping twigs. They're like, oh, this branch is too big to go into the fire. They're cracking it down. All kinds of noise. They are also looking around. I think it's because they're just like, is there food over there? Can I step on it so I don't eat it? Just, a little bit of crankiness. So Hillian is walking through. This is happening. And as they're looking around, they see a flash of what looks like a very large and colorful lizard shape, giant, like T-Rex sized thing. As it's as colorful as any flower you have ever seen. But one of the things that really grabs Hillian's attention is are a lot of teeth on this flower, and it is moving extremely quickly. And it seems to be moving extremely quickly towards you.
Now, like, what distance away is this? Is this long range?
It is long range. With,
Okay.
With your roll of 20, you catch it pretty far away. So you do have time to react to it.
Yeah, Hillian will turn around and yell out, Juraskar, get into the what is that called? Is it like a
Tower?
Tower.
Like a watchtower?
get into the tower?
Okay. As soon as you call out, then the other two of you should roll initiative if you haven't. I don't see it.
Oh, I did. It's a 13.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so 13 is what we got versus their 21. The draw.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Kelrick, why did you wake up like this morning?
Is charging in, and you all can see it because it's very large, especially once you get up into the tower. And it manages to go from long range. Since they're so fast, I'm going to say that it gets into short range in the amount of time it takes you to get to the tower and Hillian to get back to the campsite and out of the forest. So you all are in this little clearing area, and it's heading right towards your Anines.
Well,
And it is done with its turn because it was just running.
are they tall enough that they are like level with us while we're in the tower, or do we have like a height advantage on them now?
You have a very, very slight height advantage. Like,
Oh
if it
goodness.
head up, it would probably be able to grab on.
Breathe on us?
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Okay.
So
Nah. Are we all in the tower?
just the two of you. I believe Hillian is
I'm
on
at
the ground.
I have the base.
Oh no, wasn't I following Hillian when that was all happening?
You were still in the camp.
You're between Hillian and us, though.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay. Yeah, as long as I'm on the ground, I'm 100% going to do a thing.
then do a thing. So if you look in your party sheet, you will see that there are the three poisons that you got from Nils in there.
Aha.
These
Oh,
are
well.
the things that you have. You've collected the blowgun and knife from Nils. You also collected the three poisons. And there's a magnetic shield cipher.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize we just had like a party sheet. Well.
So, in here is the mind controlling poison. If you open it, first you need to roll a d6 and add 2 to determine the level of the poison.
Well, so now that there is this thing, and also it's not what was in my inventory, which has a very confusing text, can I do something else?
Yeah, you can do whatever else you want.
Okay, cool. Because like that's I don't know what I have in my inventory then.
I don't know.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Do we know that these are all what they are?
You can do an intellect check to see if you can figure out, but you never bothered to. You were just like, oh yeah, I've got poisons in here.
Yeah, we can try that. That's gonna go terribly. I have a disadvantage in that for Numenera.
Perfect.
But I also do have 2 edge, so it's only gonna cost me 1 point to apply effort. So it basically evens it out. We're gonna go on a straight die roll.
Cool. Let's see what you got.
A 3!
Nope. You've got no idea what any of these are. You just know that they're poisons.
Cool.
You can roll a d3 and it'll just be 1, 2, 3 from the top down if you want to just try and use one.
Do it.
Well, it's what would Railu do in this situation? Because everyone knows Juraskar are basically death.
Let's just play a game of grab a random poison and apply it to my weapon and throw it.
Sure, roll a 1d3.
Wait.
All right.
Okay.
So you have taken the third poison, and you're applying it to your weapon, or what are you doing with it?
Yeah, I'm applying it to. I'm latching it onto my razor ring. So in my opinion, this thing probably looks like the handle that I was describing, and you just clip it on, and my blade starts spinning through it, and then I will chuck it at the Juraskar.
So first, roll me a 1d6 plus 2.
Okay. 1d6. So 4 plus 2.
So it is a level 6 poison that you have applied. You've applied poison. The Juraskar is within short range, and you're on the ground.
Yep.
You have your razor ring.
Yep, both of them.
Well, I'm going to be real honest with y'all. This is a TD7 thing, so you have to roll a 21 or better to hit, unless you can lower that number. So, you're going to try and hit it?
I mean, Railu doesn't know that.
Railu just sees that it moved from long range to short range. Like, it is not difficult to see how fast this thing is moving.
However,
So
Railu's really good at what they do.
Great.
So let's try.
Railu is going to attempt to hit it.
Yes.
What does that roll look like for us? Let's see.
We're building a pool. Hold on.
Awesome. Tell us what that looks like.
I'm reading my abilities right now.
Oh.
So let's see. You think I'm pulling out all the stops. So I get 1 level for speed, light range. I'm proficient with my weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to apply 2 levels of effort to this.
Okay.
So that's going to be...
That takes it down to a 4.
Yes.
And
And
I will give you careful movement. Because
cool.
I think that is definitely something that you're doing. You're applying poison to your blade. I think you're going to be pretty careful.
Sounds like a good thing to me, because I'm going to need everything I can.
That makes it a level 3. So a TD3 to hit.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to put this into the thing, because it's going to take off It's going to be speed.
As far as I'm concerned, if you just do a straight roll,
cool.
we can accept it. Just make sure you deduct what you need to. You hit a Juraskar, and that poison does 6 points of damage, and it does have a different effect attached to it. So when you hit them, why don't you describe what the hit looks like, and then I will tell you what happens.
Yeah, so I think that Railu sees this Juraskar charging. There's the tower, Railu, Hillian, Juraskar. And, like, Railu is not gonna let Hillian get eaten by a Juraskar. And also, like, there's the Anine as well. So, that's kind of last on the mind. It's really Hillian. But, Railu's willing to die for Hillian. And so Railu kind of... I don't know if Hillian passes by or however the positioning works, but Railu, if Hillian's in front of him, just like runs over to their bags, grabs a random poison and slaps it on, and just goes duck, and chucks the razor ring, and like it flies in this arc and it just slashes across the Juraskar's chest.
That poison is extremely fast acting. As it gets cut across the chest, the Juraskar takes about 7 steps because they're so fast. It's just running, and then it face plants into the ground. It falls and lays there. Its eyes are open and tracking everything, but it is not moving. So you don't know how long this will last, but you do know that you have a finite period of time where that Juraskar, it appears to be pretty much helpless.
It's also alive.
Yeah, it's alive. And,
yeah.
It has... It took your hit, but what are you gonna do, Hillian and Charlie, once you see that happen? Because it literally face plants into the ground and slides up to where you're at. Your Anine are going crazy, by the way. I hope you tied them down super, super well, because that Juraskar is freaking them out. If you do not pay attention to this, you will lose them. That makes it either Charlie or Hillian's turn, whomever you all wish.
Would Juraskar be considered thinking? What does it say in here? Thinking being? Do they think? Do Juraskar think?
No, I would not think so, because
Darn.
they are, while they are apex predator reptiles, they are also, their whole focus is just on getting food and hunting. That's all they do. So I would not say that they are thinking.
Cool. So we won't do that.
You do know that you want to take care of this before this one gets back up, if at all possible, because damn Juraskar.
Mm-hmm.
It works like that Juraskar's thick.
I mean, most of what I could do would be just doing onslaught or throwing a razor ring at it as well.
Describe what Charlie sees before they do anything. So they have seen this. How are they reacting to seeing a Juraskar, growing up in Ephraimon, so knowing about them? And
yeah. Well,
then you see this thing faceplant. What's going on with Charlie for that?
Yeah. So as soon as Hillian yelled that there was Juraskar coming, she split up into the tower, and she sees it coming at her, because now she has like that perspective, right? And she's probably worried about Hillian and Railu being on the ground, and is probably looking down at them, and then all of a sudden like follows the razor ring that Railu threw, and then sees the Juraskar going down and is like in absolute like shock that worked, because the chances of that happening are pretty slim, and would probably see this as the opportunity to attack, because you're not going to outrun a Juraskar, and she doesn't know how long this thing's going to be down. And so
Give me a perception check, because Charlie knows one other thing about Juraskar.
is that an intellect roll?
Yes. Just a straight intellect roll. You can add effort if you want to. You do not.
Ooh, 16.
So you remember that Juraskar sometimes hunt alone, sometimes hunt in pairs.
Right.
And so looking around with a 16, you do not see a second Juraskar, but you don't know if that's because you can't see it yet, or if because it is not there.
Well, just from that, like, I think Charlie will kind of yell out to the group, I think it might be alone, but we can't be for sure. We should probably take care of it as quickly as possible, so that way we don't have to take care of two at one time.
That's a long thing to say in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, so I guess she'll probably just use Onslaught. So if I do the intellect one, it'll ignore armor.
Okay.
So that way, because I don't think my physical one would probably hit otherwise.
Okay. Then you don't even have to roll for this,
Mm-mm.
because it's paralyzed. It's down. It doesn't have a speed defense. It's not moving for right this instant. So how much damage does that do?
2 for intellect.
So it does 2 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's dealt.
I think Hillian will go into one of his pouches and pull out. I forgot what we flavored this one as, but Hillian has a detonation cipher.
Okay.
And so let's call it like a small organic-looking pearl that we picked up from inside the tree.
Great. So first roll me a 1d6 plus 2.
Okay.
Nice.
That's an 8.
Okay. So that's a level 8 cipher. Go ahead and...
Do you want me to roll the D100 to find out what kind it was?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can just click on the effects. Is that literally a 1? Wow.
Yeah, so it's a self-disrupting cipher.
Okay, so it harms flesh only. That seems to work in this case.
Cool. So it says it's either an explosive device thrown short range or a handheld long range. I'm not sure.
You are not long range, so
okay.
It's short range. Go ahead and it's a. Do you have anything for movement, like anything? You don't have anything like graceful movement or anything like that.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so just make a TD2 difficulty roll.
I'm going to expend like 3 effort to do this because stakes are high.
My understanding is 1 effort is basically dropping it down by 1 step, right? And you can only apply 2 effort, right?
I can apply 3 because I leveled up.
Okay, so you can apply 3 effort, which the max you need to apply is 2 to bring it down to you don't even have to roll.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna apply 2 effort.
Cool. So you throw it. It does 8 points of damage to this Juraskar, which looks pretty beat up. What does it look like when that hits?
I think that when it hits, it explodes into this gel. It covers the area that impacted on the Juraskar, and it starts making the skin just kind of melt.
Yeah, I can totally see that. It. What color is it?
I think it's like a light blue.
Okay, so this light blue gel just starts eating into the Juraskar, and it screams. It's extremely pissed off. It's sort of thrashing around, but it is not it's not moving other than that. It does seem to be getting a little bit more ability to squirm around, but it doesn't get an action this turn. So I think it's able to sort of get up and start moving away, or away from the spot it's in. I'd say it's moving closer to you because it's enraged at this point, but all it seems to be able to do is run. So it is run into the camp towards Railu, because Railu's the one who hit it, and Hillian, it saw them throw the pearl thing at it. So yeah, it is right up on. It is right next to you two. And it's your turn again.
Yeah, I think Railu is going to pull out that blade, my artifact that we've been practicing with, and gonna go take a stab.
Okay, so it is still moving really quickly, so it does have the TD5 difficulty to hit.
Cool.
So feel free to spend whatever you need to
Yep.
this giant Jurassicar that looks like a T-Rex with flippers instead of hands.
And a melting face now.
Yeah, and it's
Purely nightmare fuel right now.
yeah, it is
Oh,
a red and
God.
white striped flower in color. It's very bright with this sky blue gel eating away at, part of its side and a
Gross.
gash across its chest.
So gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bleeding.
Well, thankfully, Railu is trained with medium blades as well. How convenient.
How very
It's like Railu's a weapons master.
It's like a glaive or something.
Yeah.
Thought.
Yeah. So that'll bring it down to a 4, and then I'm very much so going to apply effort. But this is going to take out of might as a sword? As a close... Okay, cool. So...
And Railu, all of your recovery stuff is blanked. So that doesn't seem right. It seems like you...
Oh, this is the same night. For some reason, when we started, I was like, "Oh, we're going on," and I just
There
cleared
we go.
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, there you go. So
Cool.
now, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna apply effort there. I have 1 edge, and so it's gonna bring it down to a TD. I have 2 edge in intellect.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna apply 2 levels of effort because I need to hit this. So it's gonna bring it down to a TD6 or
it's
TD
5.
2. It's 6 or better.
There you go. Okay.
Just
So
say.
roll it.
Are you kidding me?
All right, I'm gonna spend that experience for you.
That was another 1.
Oh my gosh.
Questions.
This is why I roll physical dice. It's not much better, but it's not this many ones.
It's only
Alright.
your second one.
Out of 3 rolls.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought
my
that was
God, I
a
thought
1
that was
again.
a 1.
It's a 7.
Oh.
What's really funny is
Oh my
you
goodness.
practice roll earlier that gave you your 18, and so you used up your good roll before you got there. But a 7 hits.
Ugh.
So how much damage does that do?
It's a medium blade, so it'll take 4 points of damage.
Okay. You don't have anything to add to that.
Not that I can think of now.
That is added. And are you going to move, or are you going to step forward and hit? What does this attack look like?
So Railu sees this Jurassicar charging forward towards both me and Hillian, and Railu is a reckless teenager. So Railu is going to run forward and try to hamstring it. So they grab the sword off their back and they run past, and they slide underneath the body and slash at the leg. So now they're behind the Jurassicar.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and the Jurassicar has no action to take, so you are perfectly capable of doing this. Who's going next? Are you talking to each other, or are you just doing this run? What's happening?
I mean, Railu's just focused on the fight.
Okay, makes sense.
Why does that not surprise me?
It's Railu.
I feel like Railu goes like completely silent when fighting. Like just like game face.
Yep.
All right. So who wants to take their turn next?
I think Hillian will expend the 2 intellect points and give everyone an encouragement for defense rolls. So Hillian will be like, everyone just be careful, and it looks like it's gonna charge again, and will then position themselves behind the tower.
Okay, so Hillian's basically taking a defensive positioning.
Yes, but also
Smart.
giving everyone a boost to their
Yeah, that's great.
defense rolls next.
That's awesome. So what is Charlie doing?
So mechanically, what does that do for defense rolls?
It just makes it to where
You have an asset.
You get like
so you get
an asset. Okay,
You get +1 to your roll, basically.
cool. Well, Charlie also has a razor ring, although just one, and I think she might want to try to use that.
okay.
I don't know. Charlie is not built for combat, especially with beings that are non-thinking beings. So she's less than helpful.
They have a lot too. Just it actually does more damage than the razor ring. It does 2 more points of damage.
Oh, I thought it did the.
It does 4 damage.
Are razor rings that weak? Okay. Well, then maybe I'll do the physical onslaught then. For some reason I thought the razor ring did more damage.
The razor ring only does 2 damage, but it lowers the difficulty a step because it's a light weapon. So you're more likely to hit. And most things, aren't Juraskar.
Yeah, I'll do the intellect physical
The onslaught.
one. Yeah, or yes. What did I say? I don't even know what I said.
The stat it uses is intellect for.
Oh, right. Yes. The onslaught physical attack.
So it automatically costs 1 out of your int pool to use.
Well, I have 1 edge. So yep. And then I'll apply effort to the roll to try to. I have 2 effort that I can use.
Okay. So that takes it to a TD3. So you have to roll on 9 or better.
Yeah, I think that should be good, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Oh, no.
It's a 7.
That's a 7.
So no, you do not hit.
I do not hit.
Charlie, you're up there. You have your razor ring. You have your mental onslaught. What does it look like when you attempt to use that? I actually described that because this is the
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I did, because this is the one where the physical one is the one that looks kind of like a toned down version of the Iron Wind. So she concentrates looking at the Juraskar, and because she's a nano, and particularly a nano that talks to machines, I imagine it being that she somehow is able to like get some of the nanites that are in there to like kind of like attack physically the Juraskar.
Okay. Cool. And are you just staying up in the tower?
Yeah, Charlie's frightened, so she feels like this is the best vantage point that she can get. So, and while obviously she wants her party members to survive, she is in like full self-preservation mode right now.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. So now it's the Juraskar's turn. And the Juraskar is going to... It screams, obviously, when Railu cuts it. And it is going to wheel about, trying to stomp on you and hit you. It can't seem to focus enough to actually bite at you. The poison seems to be affecting its nervous system in a really intense way. And so it is kind of jerkily moving around, and it's very fast, but it's almost like when you're watching something on TV and you see things glitching, you know how it sort of stutters as it's going. That seems to be what the Jurassicar is doing. So it's not super coordinated. It's really off. Its normal killing ability, and so it is moving around the campsite and doing things. It probably, hits the tower just sort of accidentally as it's jerking around, and it stops just shy of the fire space. But it doesn't seem to be able to attack anyone right now. It's just kind of thrashing about. Why don't I get the only person who would have to roll any sort of defense roll is Railu, and I think with the poison effect that's on the Jurassicar and your careful movements and your normal abilities, that it's not even you have zero difficulty in avoiding this Jurassicar.
Dancing through those stomping feet.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Railu is able to pull all of the stops out and just doesn't even have to worry about a defense roll. So that makes it y'all's turn again. You all are the worst. I'm telling you. A Jurassicar this happens with. Cool. Who's going to take their turn first?
I feel like Railu's been doing the most damage.
Yeah, so is my razor ring within distance of me to run and grab?
When you threw it, it was short range, so you can run in that direction, and I think you'd have to roll to find it because you did throw it into the woods.
Oh, was the Jurassicar in the woods when that happened?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you're
yeah.
to do so.
Yeah, Railu's not going to look for a weapon in the middle of a fight. Oh, what would Railu do? Railu's not dumb enough to just straight up face a Jurassicar, like head on charging at them. I mean, like they're dumb, but they're not that dumb. What do you do in this situation?
I wish I would have thought about it. Maybe Charlie can go first and drop her razor ring down to you.
I have one.
Oh.
Because I have two of them.
Yeah.
I think that Railu is going to try to, I don't know if this is an actual game mechanic, but maybe like knock it into the fire if they can get like another shot on its leg. I know that's going to be like a minor or major effect, but I think that's their mindset is to try to like.
I think you need to make the roll, and if you roll well enough, then.
Well, I'm just thinking their mindset.
Yeah, and that's
like,
cool. I think the roll is going to determine, but I mean, this Jurassicar is almost as tall as the tower. You knocking it into something is going to be pretty challenging.
Also, it's like a small fire, right? This isn't like a bonfire.
Exactly.
Oh, that's not gonna. Okay, that would.
Yeah,
in this picture, it's a bonfire, so I'm like, I don't know. It's a huge fire. Okay.
Be like, ow, you burned me.
Can someone else go? I don't know what Railu would do here yet. In this situation, Aaron isn't smart enough to know.
I mean, I think Charlie will probably just try to do the physical onslaught again.
Yeah, I mean, it did bump into and sort of rock your tower there, so
yeah,
it's pretty close to you. You could almost touch it from where it is.
Yeah, she's not gonna try. Yeah, no. So could I argue that this would be a task requiring incredible focus or concentration?
What's the task that you're trying
to attack it with a physical onslaught?
I would say, yeah, I think that makes sense. Sure.
Okay, cool. Because I'm trained in that. And I'm able to apply the effort again, right? Because it's a new round. Okay.
As you have stuff in that pool, you are able to apply your effort.
Yeah, my pool's going to drain really fast. Okay, yeah, so she's going to use the physical onslaught again, apply to effort, and...
All right.
And, yeah.
And so now you have to hit a 6. So, perfect. You hit it. So,
cool.
Yeah, you rolled an 8. So you did 4 damage, and it is looking pretty rough. It's definitely not happy.
I'm really glad that I used that the trained task thing, because others I would not have hit it with an 8.
So what does it look like this time when you actually hit it?
Yeah, so I think probably like before maybe like the nanites, like some of them probably just like were like not attacking it, and other ones like hit like the flesh, like but like didn't like actually cause damage. And now it's like they're like, now that I'm concentrating more, like because I used that, I was like, I'm focusing and concentrating more on this attack. They're like kind of like shooting in like at like a higher velocity, I guess, and piercing the flesh of the Draskar.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So you do your damage, and it is looking rough. So
Good.
Hillian and Railu, who's going to take their turn next?
Hillian will attempt to attack the Jaraskar with their bow, and will expend some effort to do so, 2 effort to do so.
Okay.
So we'll see what that brings.
So you need to, that hits, that's a TD 3.
Okay. Ooh. Nope.
So a 2 is not going to hit it.
Okay.
So are you moving around? Are you sticking in place?
I think.
Give me a perception check before you make your decision.
Sure. Can do that.
Just a straight intellect roll. An 8? Yeah, you can see that these Anine are starting to buck and pull, and you see that their restraints are going to break pretty soon.
I'm going to call out to the Anine and console them,
Okay?
which I have a.
You are trained
I'm
in
trained in doing
consoling
that.
tasks. Yes. Or, you can use emotional support, I suppose. I don't know. Either one of those. But only.
Hillian is their emotional support animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will do so.
Okay. Oh, with the 17, you can apply a minor effect too. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that I'm kind of just attuned to all of the animals, and so I'm able to just kind of intuitively calm them down.
Okay.
And sure, they're scared, maybe they're bucking a little bit, but I think Hillian either has like a whistle that he uses or something that is comforting.
Yeah, I think that'll buy you a couple more rounds of them sticking around.
Cool.
All right, and that leaves Railu.
I think Railu is going to try. How tall is this thing? Like 10 feet tall?
Yeah, roughly.
All right, yeah, Railu can't do that. I was gonna say like Railu's gonna try to kick off a tree and attack the face. That's not gonna happen. Railu's just gonna have to go for the leg. I mean, right now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They got the forest or they got the Drask. So
Yeah.
um,
And y'all are making a crap ton of noise.
Could always go for a swim.
to be fair, what's gonna attack another Draskar? Like it could be a second Draskar, but everything else is gone.
That's fair.
This is true. Except for whatever maybe lies in the deep.
And then a Kraken appears.
That never. What?
I would love to see a Kraken eat this Draskar right now. I've played CPs. I'll shoot it with my
Battle of
cannon.
the Beasts. You're right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna attack. I can't spend any more from my might, so it's with my medium blade training. It's just gonna be a TD4.
All right, let's see it.
A 7, dude. What is up with 7s and 1s?
Hey, a 7 is better than a 1. Is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Draskar's turn, and it seems to be regaining control of its faculties slowly. I'm just going to give this to y'all as a perception thing. You can tell that it is super, super angry.
I mean, I would be too.
It is slowly, it is starting to be able to focus a little bit more. It is actually going to headbutt the structure that Charlie is in.
Saw that coming.
And rock it. It is not going to knock it down. This thing is surprisingly sturdy. Like the Draskar hit it and it shook it, but it did not do as much damage as you would expect, in part because the Juraskar is still a little weak. So that's what it does, is it just, tries to headbutt this thing and knock it over. It does not succeed. So we're in round 4.
Plus.
Railu has an idea.
Oh boy. Okay.
Take it away.
Railu wants to try to climb up to this thing's head, like from its back.
All right.
So Railu's gonna like jump on the tail and attempt to scramble on top of this thing while it's disoriented.
Okay. So for an action like that, even with this poison, you're gonna have to do something.
I have careful movement, climbing, physical performance.
Now, you do also have the benefit of Hillian's encouraging presence. So
Isn't that speed defense?
it gives you an asset, yes. And you're running up its back. It's going to get a reaction to that. I mean, you don't think that jumping on something's back that's 10 feet tall and running up, it's not going to be able to react to that? Is that is that your argument?
That's very much my argument, because Railu is fast and is scuttling, and this thing just headbutted a wooden tower under a mind control poison.
Yeah, a mind disruption poison.
Yeah.
And I do think that it would get a reaction to try.
It's your world. I'm just living in a kill.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give you running 10 feet to attack it up its back without some sort of difficulty check here.
Also, have you ever tried to... Oh, no, I expect the difficulty check. I thought I was making an attack. Okay.
Well, it's gonna try and shake you off.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I thought it was attacking me, and I was like,
It's a reaction, is what I'm saying.
Cool.
The reaction is to try and shake you off before you get there.
Oh, yeah, I figured that. That's why I was saying, like, careful movement, climbing,
Okay,
balance.
So go ahead and you're adding all of those. I'm giving you the defense thing.
Cool.
So you have to beat a TD2 with everything you have applied. So
Anybody but me, I would be fine with
Oh,
that.
I'm worried for this roll.
A TD1 sometimes is a bit much in this game, so it's fine.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna go for it.
TD2.
A one?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, I rolled 3 ones today.
You have.
You gotta be kidding me.
You just failed a typical task that just requires focus, but most people can usually do this, Railu. Most people.
My last XP for Railu.
Oh my
Thank
god.
you. Okay, so here's the thing. I hate this system. Not Numenera, but I mean this, whatever we're on, Fantasy Grounds.
You didn't hate it last time when it was giving you a whole bunch of really good rolls. Didn't hate
I
it.
wasn't fighting a
Yeah.
Juraskar. A 6.
Exactly what you needed. Right
Yay.
God.
on. Okay, so you get up to the thing's head, and now you're able to do your attack.
Yeah, I want to stab it in the head.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, I'm applying so much might to this. 2 whole effort. And I have my blade. So I don't know if I get like an asset for this or if it does extra damage. I have no idea, but I got my 2 effort in and I got my medium blade training. So
Okay, so that drops it. I will actually even give you, since you succeeded on climbing all the way up it without the problem, I'll give you another asset drop for that, basically. So it's a TD1. You have to roll a 3 or better.
Oh my goodness.
anyone else still nervous?
Why am I so worried about this?
Because it's a
Truly.
Juraskar. Once this poison wears off,
A 5.
okay, a 5. So you need to beat a 3. You succeed. You hit it. What's the
I'm less worried about the Juraskar. I'm more worried about Riley's rolls.
Right, same.
Is that 4 points of damage?
It does 4 points of damage, yeah.
Okay. And now who's going to take a turn? Hillian or Charlie?
Charlie can. She is going to use the razor ring this time though, because my intellect pool is getting real low.
Okay, so actually, before we do that, let's get this description for what it looks like when you hit this thing with this sword. How does this look for Railu? Like you jump on this thing and it's trying to shake you off as you run up it. So, your feet are remarkably steady, considering how shuddering this thing is and stuttery it is. Like, as it's shaking, you're able to grab onto it. It actually has like these long sort of quills on its back, just intermittently placed, and you seem to be able to grab them at the points where they're not sharp and use them to sort of stabilize yourself as you go up. So you get up there, and what happens?
I think so. Railu is like seeing this thing headbutting the tower, and is just like panicked at this point. And so the tail comes by Railu, and Railu gets that idea, whether brilliant or ridiculously dumb, who knows. And they watch as it comes back, and Railu jumps on the tail and like starts climbing and grabbing onto the quills and running like when it lowers its back a little bit. And then it tries to shake it off. And I think the reason that it was a 1 and then a 7 is Railu's back hit the tower. Like they stumbled and their back hit the tower instead of falling off, and they were able to like re-grab onto a quill, and they climbed back up to the top. And I think as they got up there, they tried to plunge the sword into the head to kill it, but I think its skull was a lot thicker than they expected, which is why it's not dead.
Yeah.
Just highly maimed.
Yeah, it's very unhappy though.
Yeah, it is beat up. So you run up its back, you cleave at its head. It definitely cuts, but not as deep as you want, but a very reasonable amount. And as you're recovering, immediately to your right, like if you were just to turn your head slowly to the right, you would be looking directly into Charlie's eyes, because you two are on basically the same level at this point, and Charlie is right next to you. If they wanted to, they could try to step out and join you on top of the Draskar. That's how close you are. Charlie, what are you doing?
So would that mean that I'm close enough that if I use the razor ring, would I be able to slash rather than throw it?
Sure.
Okay. Dope. So, yeah, I'm going to do that then. Effort. Cause yes. Yeah, no, like I said, Charlie is not built for combat. Yeah, so I'm just going to apply 2 effort and cross my fingers.
That's going to be it for us today. I'm Kelric, your narrator. You can find me on Twitter at Cormallon. That's CORMALLON. And I also monitor the EQ Points Twitter. I do this every other Sunday, and on alternating Saturdays, I get to play in our fantastic Starfinder game, and hopefully we'll have a couple other things coming out in the nearest future.
I've been Aaron, and you can find me over at Twitter at Space Persona. I've also recently started streaming on Twitch. I haven't for the last week, but I just released a new stream schedule, so feel free to go over. It's at twitch.tv/Catalyst, KATOLYS, and I'll be streaming from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at least, Monday through Thursday, Pacific Standard Time. So feel free to come hang out and say hi.
Thanks all for tuning in. I'm Cage, and I've been Charlie, and you can find me on Twitter at RageCageRugger, RAGEKAGEX, RUGGER. And a fun little thing is I've been featured in a short story anthology. You can find that on Drive Through Fiction. It's called Flashbang, a collection of very short stories.
We bought our copy.
And yes, I'm Kenny. You can find me on Twitter at PunderDrone. When I'm not playing a meat-eating bunny, I am DMing a game every other Saturday on Experience Points, this channel here. Catch us next Saturday as we delve into our next episode of the Dawn of Flame Adventure Path, Soldiers of Brass. And it was amazing. Cannot wait to continue the story. So you can find us there on this channel next Saturday.
thank you all so much. This has been fantastic. Bye.
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 Thank you so much for listening to Qmenera, an Experience Points podcast. Are your ears burning for another podcast? We cannot recommend enough checking out our sister podcast, Roll to Fail. There are 6 friends who have no business behind the mic, or even rolling dice. The original Experience Points podcast is a Starfinder game that releases every Wednesday. Stay up to date on all the Experience Points Network podcasts at EQ Points on Twitter and on experiencepoints.com. Pardon our dust as I continue updates on the website. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello and welcome to St. Fleur, where the city is modern, the fantasy is urban, and the faction politics are at an all-time high. Join us in Shadows of St. Fleur as we follow the wizard, Alistair Lockwood.
Regret to inform you, I'm not a wizard. I am a master of the arcane arts.
The scholar, Jeremiah Roderick Crawford.
I'm an earl, you know, and you're a baron. Those words carry some weight.
The wolf, Victor Margaret.
Victor stands on the bridge in the cold. Fuck.
The fae who is known only as Silk.
Do we know if this was a standard mugging?
And the vamp, Alex Giroux.
Quite. Because the first time the door opens, I'm going to push her out.
Through their experience in the city. Shadows of St. Fleur is an Urban Shadows actual play podcast with a majority LGBTQ+ cast playing characters finding their way through faction politics, all in pursuit of their own individual goals. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.